Take a deep breath, and let's hear a story about a mother buffalo and her herd bravely protecting a calf from hungry lions. Morning light spilled across the vast savanna, painting the tall grasses in shades of gold and amber. The air carried the sweet scent of wildflowers and fresh earth as gentle breezes made the plains dance in hypnotic waves. A magnificent herd of buffalo moved unhurriedly across this peaceful landscape, their powerful bodies creating a living, breathing tapestry against the endless blue sky. Little birds rode along on their broad backs, a symbiotic relationship that had existed for countless generations in this ancient place. At the center of the herd walked Nala, a majestic buffalo mother, whose gentle eyes reflected the wisdom of many seasons on the plains. Her hide bore the marks of time, small scars that told stories of survival and resilience in this beautiful but challenging world. The morning sunlight caught in her dark eyes as she protectively guided her young calf, Kibbo, who pranced beside her with the boundless energy of youth. His small hooves kicked up little puffs of dust that sparkled in the golden light, each step filled with curiosity and wonder at the world around him. The other buffalo moved with purposeful grace around mother and child, creating an unconscious protective formation that had been perfected over thousands of years. Elder buffalo with graying muzzles and knowing eyes took positions at the outer edges, their experience guiding the collective movements of the family group. The rhythmic sound of their hooves against the earth created a soothing drumbeat, a natural lullaby that seemed to pulse in harmony with the heartbeat of the savanna itself. Kibo was only 3 weeks old, his coat still carrying the reddish-brown hue of infancy that would gradually darken with time. His eyes wide with wonder, he absorbed every sight, sound, and scent of his savanna home as if trying to memorize its every detail. When he would occasionally wander a few steps too far from his mother's watchful gaze, he would quickly return to her side, finding comfort in her familiar warmth and reassuring smell. The herd was making its way toward the watering hole, a journey they undertook each morning as the sun began its climb into the sky. This sacred ritual brought them to the life-giving waters that sustained all creatures in this delicate ecosystem. Birds called melodiously from acacia trees that dotted the landscape, their songs carrying across the open plains like nature's own welcoming committee. Old Badu, the eldest bull in the herd, led the procession with dignified steps that belied his immense strength. His massive horns, worn smooth in places from years of use, curved majestically around his weathered face. The younger bulls respected his leadership, following his cues as he navigated the familiar path toward water. His deep breathing was steady and calm, setting a peaceful rhythm for the entire herd to follow. As they walked, butterflies in brilliant blues and yellows danced around the buffalo, occasionally landing briefly on their broad backs before fluttering away. These delicate creatures seemed to float on the gentle breeze, their wings catching the sunlight like living stained glass. Their ephemeral beauty contrasted with the solid permanence of the buffalo, a reminder of the many forms life takes on the savanna. The younger calves, including Kibo, sometimes broke into spontaneous play, kicking up their heels and making short, joyful runs before returning to the safety of their mothers. Their antics brought a sense of lightness to the procession, their innocent joy infectious among the adults. Nala watched her son with patient eyes, remembering her own carefree days as a calf in seasons long past. A family of warthogs crossed their path, the parents leading a row of tiny piglets with tails held high like antennas. The buffalo slowed respectfully, allowing the smaller family to pass unharmed. This quiet cooperation between species was part of the unspoken harmony of savanna life. Kibo watched the piglets with fascination, their hurried trot so different from his own steady gait. In the far distance, a pride of lions rested under the shade of an acacia tree, their tawny bodies barely visible in the dappled shadow. They seemed to pay no attention to the buffalo herd, content in their morning rest after a night of hunting. But Nala noticed them immediately, her instincts heightening as she gently guided Kibo closer to her side. The other mother buffalo did the same with their young, a subtle shift in the herd's formation occurring without a sound being exchanged. The watering hole came into view, its surface shimmering like polished silver in the morning light. Other animals were already gathered there, elegant gazelles, towering giraffes, and a small family of elephants who used their trunks to spray cooling water over their wrinkled skin. The buffalo approached with measured steps, respecting the unwritten rules of the watering hole where predator and prey alike came to drink. The water's edge reflected the blue sky above, clouds drifting across its surface like thoughts passing through a peaceful mind. Kibo's excitement grew as they neared the water, his small body quivering with anticipation. He had only visited the watering hole a handful of times in his young life, each visit a wonder of new sights, sounds, and creatures. Nala guided him gently, teaching through example how to approach the water with calm awareness. The cool liquid would be a welcome relief from the growing heat of the day, a moment of refreshment before they would continue to the grazing grounds where the grass grew thick and nourishing. The entire herd moved in synchrony, their collective presence a testament to the power of family and community in this wild place. Individual buffalo might be vulnerable, but together they formed one of the most formidable forces on the savanna. Their breathing seemed to synchronize as they approached the water's edge, 100 hearts beating as one in the golden morning light. This was their home, their sanctuary, the place where they found both sustenance and peace in the embrace of their herd family. The peace of the morning was broken by a subtle shift in the air, a change so slight that only the most experienced animals would notice. Old Badu's ears flicked forward, his massive head raising slightly as he scanned the tall grasses beyond the watering hole. The lions that had been resting in the distance were nowhere to be seen, having silently repositioned themselves while the herd was distracted by the water. Nala sensed the change immediately, her maternal instincts sending silent warnings throughout her body. Kibo continued to drink happily, his reflection rippling in the clear water as he took small, eager sips. Unaware of the growing tension, he playfully splashed his hooves in the shallows, sending tiny rainbows of droplets into the air. The other calves began to pick up on the adult's changing mood, their playfulness gradually subsiding as they instinctively moved closer to their mothers. The watering hole, moments ago a place of peaceful gathering, now held an undercurrent of alertness. The first sign of danger came as a flash of movement in the tall grass, a golden shoulder rising slightly above the tawny stalks before disappearing again. The hunting lions were using the grass as cover, their bodies low to the ground as they strategically positioned themselves around the vulnerable herd. Their target was clear, the young calves whose inexperience made them the easiest prey. Old Badu gave a low warning rumble that vibrated through the ground beneath their feet, a sound so deep it seemed to come from the earth itself. Nala nudged Kibo away from the water's edge, positioning her body between her calf and the direction of the hidden threat. The other mother buffalo did the same, creating a protective inner circle with all calves safely enclosed. The bulls moved to the outer perimeter, their massive horns lowered in readiness for the coming confrontation. There was no panic, only purposeful reorganization, a defensive strategy perfected over countless generations of safeguarding their young. The lionesses made their move with explosive speed, 3 powerful hunters bursting from the grass in a coordinated attack designed to create chaos and separation. Their golden bodies became airborne for breathtaking moments, muscles rippling beneath sleek coats as they launched toward the herd. The targeted area was where Kibo and 2 other calves had been standing just moments before, but now found only the imposing wall of adult buffalo standing firm, shoulder to shoulder, in unwavering protection. Old Badu bellowed a challenge that echoed across the savannah, the sound carrying such primal authority that birds took flight from nearby trees. The other bulls joined the call, creating a thunderous chorus that declared their readiness to defend. The lionesses hesitated momentarily, reassessing their strategy as they faced the wall of horn and muscle that had formed with remarkable speed. Their amber eyes calculated, hunting minds quickly adapting to the unexpected defensive formation. Inside the protective circle, Kibo pressed against his mother's leg, his small body trembling not with fear, but with the instinctive recognition of danger. Nala stood firm, her powerful presence a reassurance to her calf that he was safe within the embrace of the herd. The other calves clustered together in the center, finding comfort in their closeness, as the adults created an impenetrable barrier around them. Their collective breathing created a gentle rhythm that somehow calmed the youngest members. The lead lioness, a scarred veteran of many hunts, circled to the right, testing for weakness in the buffalo defense. Her sisters followed her lead, spreading out to stretch the herd's attention in multiple directions. The strategy was clear: create an opening, cause confusion, separate a calf from protection. But the buffalo herd moved as one organism, shifting to counter each movement of the predators with perfect coordination. No signals were needed. This dance of survival was written in their very blood. A young bull, perhaps too eager to prove himself, broke formation slightly as he charged at the nearest lioness. It was the opportunity the hunters had been waiting for, and two lionesses immediately exploited the gap, darting toward the inner circle with deadly focus. But Nala and three other mothers swiftly closed the breach, their bodies becoming a living shield as they blocked the predator's path. The young bull quickly recovered, learning a valuable lesson about the discipline of herd defense. What followed was a mesmerizing display of strategy and counter-strategy, a chess game played out on the savannah battlefield. The lions, master hunters that they were, probed and tested the buffalo defense from every angle, their patience equal to their hunger. The buffalo responded with unwavering solidarity, their massive bodies moving in perfect coordination to ensure no vulnerability was exposed. Other animals at the watering hole had retreated to safe distances, watching the drama unfold with respectful silence. For nearly an hour this tension held, a stalemate between predator determination and prey protection. The sun climbed higher in the sky, its heat intensifying as the standoff continued. Kibo and the other calves had settled into a calm huddle at the center of protection, their initial alarm replaced by a quiet trust in their guardians. The adults never wavered, their resolve strengthened by the precious lives they were defending and the unbreakable bonds of their community. The lionesses began to show signs of fatigue, the cost of their failed attempts evident in their heavier breathing and less coordinated movements. The lead huntress made eye contact with old Badu, a moment of silent communication between ancient adversaries who knew this dance well. There seemed to be a grudging respect in that exchange, predator acknowledging the superior defense of the prey. The buffalo remained vigilant, reading the subtle signals that suggested the tide was turning. Finally, with a flick of her tail that signaled to her sisters, the lead lioness began a strategic retreat. They backed away slowly, maintaining their dignity as they conceded this battle. Their golden bodies soon disappeared back into the tall grasses from which they had emerged, returning to the shade of distant trees to rest and perhaps hunt more vulnerable prey. The buffalo held their defensive position for several minutes longer, their wisdom telling them that premature celebration could be dangerous. As the immediate threat faded, a palpable sense of relief washed over the herd like a cool breeze. Old Badu gave a different call now, a deep, resonant sound that signaled the all clear to the vigilant buffalo. The tight formation gradually relaxed, though the adults remained protectively close to the calves. Nale nuzzled Kibo tenderly, inhaling his scent as if reassuring herself that he was truly safe and unharmed. Her gentle eyes conveyed love that transcended species, a universal maternal devotion that made the savanna feel suddenly sacred. The other buffalo began to return to the water's edge, their thirst now demanding attention after the intense standoff. They drank deeply, the rhythmic sounds of their sipping creating a soothing melody across the once again peaceful watering hole. The sky overhead had deepened to a rich cerulean blue, scattered clouds casting drifting shadows that traveled slowly across the golden landscape. These shifting patterns of light and dark seemed to mirror the ebbs and flows of danger and safety that defined life on the savanna. Kibo, his youthful resilience shining through, cautiously approached the water again, under his mother's watchful gaze. His reflection looked back at him, somehow different now, as if the experience had added a new dimension to his young soul. The water felt especially refreshing as he drank, each cool sip a celebration of this moment of safety and togetherness. Nearby, the other calves also returned to the simple pleasures of drinking and splashing, their ability to find joy even after danger, a lesson in living fully in each precious moment. Old Badu stood at the highest point near the watering hole, his experienced eyes still scanning the horizon with protective vigilance. The sun gleamed on his massive horns as he kept his silent watch, allowing the rest of the herd to relax in the security he provided. His presence was like an ancient oak tree, solid, dependable, rooted in the wisdom of countless seasons. Young bulls observed him with admiration, absorbing the silent teachings of leadership and responsibility that would one day become their own. Other animals gradually returned to the watering hole, elegant impalas stepping cautiously, zebras with their hypnotic stripes, and a family of warthogs who always seemed to arrive in chaotic haste. The natural rhythm of the savanna was restoring itself, the brief drama now becoming just another thread in the rich tapestry of wild existence. Sunlight danced on the water's surface, creating thousands of tiny stars that twinkled with each ripple and movement. Nala guided Kibo to join a small group of mothers and calves who had gathered in a patch of shade offered by a spreading acacia tree. Here, in the dappled light filtered through delicate leaves, the buffalo would rest during the hottest part of the day. The ground beneath the tree felt cool against their bodies as they lowered themselves to rest, muscles finally relaxing after the heightened alertness of the confrontation. The sound of gentle breathing soon filled this sanctuary. Above them, Tiny weaver birds flitted between the branches, their nests hanging like perfect little baskets from the acacia's thorny limbs. Their cheerful chirping created a lullaby for the resting buffalo, nature's own soothing melody. Kibo watched them with heavy-lidded eyes, his head resting comfortably against his mother's warm side. The rhythm of her breathing matched his own, their bodies rising and falling in perfect harmony as the midday heat settled over the savanna like a warm blanket. A gentle breeze carried the scent of wild sage and sun-warmed earth, a fragrance unique to this special place they called home. This same wind had caressed countless generations of buffalo before them, had witnessed the eternal dance of life, challenge, and triumph that shaped their existence. Nala's eyes slowly closed as she allowed herself to truly rest, secure in the knowledge that the herd remained vigilant, even in repose, different members always keeping watch. Dreams came easily in this peaceful moment, Kibo's small legs twitching occasionally as he ran through imaginary grasslands in his sleep. Perhaps in these dreams he was already grown, strong and wise like old Badu, protecting calves of his own. The future stretched before him, full of possibilities, lessons, and the endless cycles of the savanna. Each challenge overcome would add to his strength. Each season would bring new understanding of his place in the grand design. As the afternoon progressed, other buffalo calves began to stir, their brief rest giving way to renewed curiosity and playfulness. Small groups formed for gentle games of chase and exploration within the safe perimeter established by the adults. Kibo joined them, his steps a little more confident now, forever changed by the morning's events. The games they played unconsciously prepared them for adult life, building the strength and coordination they would one day need. Nala watched her son with quiet pride, her heart full of gratitude for the herd that had stood strong together. There was profound wisdom in their collective way of being. No buffalo alone could have protected against the lions, but together they were invincible. This was the lesson Kibo had witnessed today, a teaching more powerful than any words. The strength of the community, the unbreakable bonds of family, both blood and chosen, had kept him safe in his moment of greatest vulnerability. Old Badu moved among the resting herd, checking on the well-being of each family group with gentle attentiveness. When he reached Nala and Kibo, he lowered his massive head in acknowledgement of their shared experience. This wordless communication carried generations of understanding. They were connected by something ancient and powerful that flowed through every buffalo on the savanna. It was a lineage of resilience, of facing challenges together, of finding joy in the simple miracle another day lived in harmony with the rhythms of their wild home. The day began to soften toward evening, the harsh light mellowing into the golden hour that painters and photographers so treasure. Long shadows stretched across the savanna as the buffalo herd gradually rose from their rest, preparing for the evening grazing that would carry them through the night. The air grew cooler, carrying new scents that told stories of distant rains and blooming flowers. Stars began to appear in the eastern sky, ancient navigational guides that had watched over countless generations of life on these plains. As the herd moved together across the open grassland, their silhouettes powerful against the setting sun, there was a tangible sense of rightness in the world. Today they had faced danger and emerged stronger, their bonds reinforced by shared purpose and mutual protection. Kubo walked confidently beside his mother, occasionally looking up at her with eyes that held new understanding. The savannah stretched endlessly around them, both challenge and sanctuary, the only home they would ever need as long as they had each other and the strength of the herd.